All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to some reaction videos based on the perspective of some people's thoughts, basically based on the real estate market. Lots of things have been happening and information goes everywhere. So let's hear what these people have to say, and then from a real estate agent, you'll get the perspective. Now, I do real estate in mainly DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I also do real estate in Austin, Texas. So if you do need help, give me a call, shoot me a text. But yeah, let's go and begin. All right, so in the first video, she's talking about how all these Californians came to Austin, pushing up prices, and what her thoughts on that are.
I have not seen anybody talk about what's going on in Austin right now, and it is so funny to me. I want to start the conversation. So Austin real estate right now is fucking cooked. Fucking cooked. And I think it's really funny because it's people's fault that it's this way. So Austin was hit, I think, with the most amount of people moving from California to Austin, or to this city.
Yeah, and you were seeing this. You were seeing literally people get these lots less than 0.2, 0.25 of an acre, throw two nice homes on there, two little small duplexes, and rent them both out, right? Or try to sell them for $1 million instead of 500,000, but all on this small little tiny lot. And people were scooping them up. So there's some flippers and some investors who really killed it in Austin by being ahead of the curve, especially if you could have nailed it and knew about the whole 2020 situation and bought, 2019, 2018. Goodness gracious.
Because of COVID. And the thing is they tried to take advantage of us. They said, oh, your real estate is super cheap here. Let me sell my house and come here and buy multiple houses and try to, use them as Airbnbs, rent them out to people, sell them, flip them, sell them, because people were having, we had no inventory.
She's spot on with that. Lots of tech layoffs. Google, Tesla, I believe Microsoft even had tech layoffs. So, I mean, they're leaving like full commercial buildings vacant because they were like, yeah, we're going to be here, and now we changed our mind.
Sell them, flip them, sell them, because people were having, we had no inventory. So prices were super, super inflated in Austin. And then they would buy also properties and demolish them and build these ugly piece of shit like box mansions too. And which Austin didn't really have before all this shit. So the problem is two things. One, we're having a shit ton of tech layoffs. This city's economy is based in tech. So a lot of people are moving away. And also a lot of the people who have money, and came here for various reasons during COVID are also leaving. Because they're like, ooh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Also, if you're like a foreign person moving to Austin, and I say foreign, like anyone who's not Texan, we're probably going to be really mean to you because there's a lot of reasons why, they just don't fit in, and
I wouldn't say that people are going to be mean to you. Maybe like, I don't know, like your neighbors might give you a glare or something like that. I mean, I don't really see people in Austin, or one thing I liked about Austin was I felt that most people were pretty kind and respectful and kind of sticking to themselves. So I don't think that's more or less it. But there are jealous people out there who wish that they could come to a city and buy, a $500,000, $600,000 home, straight up cash, money to spare. So yeah, that did happen. It did push prices up, but that's kind of everywhere. As many people are coming to Texas, it's not really a surprise. And yeah, some people, they moved to Austin with the expectation that it was going to be this certain type of city. But when you go to Austin, it's a great city. I loved living there. I lived there for 5 to 6 years. But it's only that city that has the movement, right? Like San Marcos down the way, a little south, closer to San Antonio, they've got, that's a college town. So it's really nice and peaceful there. There's a river there, but there's only one city, right? And to live close to that city, you're going to be paying an arm and a leg, rent and to buy. So I think that's the thought process about it. It's not like Dallas and DFW, where there's Dallas, it's a whole city and a whole downtown, and there's a whole Fort Worth. Yes, it's a little older, a little smaller, much smaller than Dallas, but it's at least two different city skylines you could live next to, right? Especially if you wanted to be close to the city and you could not afford to live in Dallas, you probably could afford to live near the city in Fort Worth. And Fort Worth, I believe, is a little slept on. So there's a great opportunity to shop around, really, and get some homes before they either go through gentrification or at least raise the values as people start to flood in and realize that it's slept on.
We're talking about banks and we're talking about all these different things. We're talking about banks and we're talking about all these different things. When it comes to the current market, how do you feel that interest rates are affecting the market?
So, I feel like interest rates have the market right now like a stalemate.
Yeah, literally a stalemate. I mean, I think 80% of people don't want to buy right now, and they're literally waiting for interest rates to drop. So, I mean, that massive amount of people who are waiting for something to happen, I don't think it's going to work out as they plan it's going to work out, but yeah, people are in a stalemate. So, like, for instance, if you live in a home right now, I don't know, 3,000 square feet, $600,000 home, $500,000 home, for you to get bigger, you're going to be paying way more. Not only that, but even if you went down, even if you downgraded to 300,000, okay, like, so yeah, like let's say your home has cost 500,000. You want to downgrade to a home that's 350,000. You're going to be paying, depending on how much you put down, pretty much the same mortgage on that home. Of course, I'm not a lender, so the numbers aren't going to match up exactly, but you can go into a calculator and type it in right now. Like, what does it look like with interest rates at 3%? And what does it look like with interest rates at 6 to 7%? So if you're someone who's in these interest rates to 3, 2, 4, it is really hard to convince yourself to move anywhere because most likely you're going to be paying more unless you buy full on cash or put, 60% down. You know what I mean?
Stalemate.
Still, I would say it's.
Yeah.
Here's why. Sellers aren't the average. So let's go back. The average person moves every 7 years. You're not seeing that. People are just holding tight because, sellers have interest rates at 3.5%. Now interest rates are. Last month they were at an 8.
So why would they sell?
They can't sell. Because they can.
Yeah.
But so they're going to sell their house for $800,000. And if you're not retiring and you're not downsizing and you just need a new house, you're going to sell your house for $800,000 at 3% interest rate, and you're going to be able to afford $550?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't make sense, and it's brutal. And it's one of those things where when I talk to my clients, I tell them, not like just because I'm a real estate agent doesn't mean I'm like, hey, you should go buy. But it's more or less, if interest rates do drop, home prices will go up. If you are able to buy now and get through that interest rate, if they do drop, and you are able to have some equity in the home, you can refinance to pay lower. It's a tough one. It's either you pay high mortgage or you pay over asking high price for a home and be blitzed out like what happened in 2021 and 2022. Now, interest rates are probably not going to go to the 3s and 4s, so it won't be that hardcore. But yeah, the moment interest rates do drop, you're going to see an increase in the market activity, 100%.
House, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
So sellers aren't moving, inventory's low.
I will say inventory is low, and that is also another reason. And you are seeing new construction really fill in, and inventory has picked up. So just year over year, I mean, inventory has picked up drastically, which is kind of also why you're seeing a lot of these homes sit and people wait and sellers take discounts because there are more homes for sale, yet there are less buyers looking for those said homes, right? In most cases, there's certain areas where, yeah, you list a home, right price, it's going to go in days over asking multiple offers. That's kind of always been the case. If you price the home correctly, it always moves quickly. If you price the home correctly, it typically moves quickly and efficiently, and you get more for what you ask for.
And buyers are nervous.
We're talking about.
You have to be prepared. And how do you get prepared? That is making sure you're budgeting your money, making sure you understand, okay, well, if my insurance premium is this amount this year, then next year it may go up 30 to 40%. And that's something that I have to keep
Yeah, I
in
just stumbled
mind.
across this video. Yeah, I mean, when you are buying a home, I wouldn't consider it doom and gloom, but yeah, you most likely will be paying more than rent. And yeah, you got to keep in mind there are going to be some other fees, not just your mortgage, right? So you're going to have insurance that's included in that, depending on if you finance your home, which most people finance their home. So budget, and you definitely want to, change up your expenses depending on how much you're spending, right? Because things aren't getting cheaper. Gentleman is talking about the prefab homes that Home Depot's making, and have you seen these homes? They're actually pretty cool. Yeah, they're still like 50,000, right? 40,000, but get yourself a couple acres. Throw that bad boy on there. Yeah, you have yourself a beautiful property, right? And these prefab homes look like ADUs that people are adding, right? So still a beautiful concept, still a possible concept. And maybe this was something you consider if you want to add an ADU or you want to add something else on your property. Maybe you have a smaller lot. Of course, you're going to have to check your zoning and permitting, but also don't forget you have your 3D home options, which is supposed to be affordable, but of course it's still going to depend on where you build it.
Access to property. Maybe you look. Home Depot is selling small cottages, 2-bedroom cottages, for a little over $60,000. I mean, this is a throwback to something that happened in the early 1900s, where Sears, their catalog would sell home plans with all the materials and instructions for you to build your own home. If you are someone who has access to property, maybe you look at the new Home Depot home kit, and that becomes your affordable housing.
So yeah, what do you think? Would you buy one of these? Let me know in the comments. Our next video is going to be where a lot of buyers find themselves. They're walking through neighborhoods they live in, and they cannot believe how expensive some of these homes are. And if you look at one of these charts of home prices, yes, they fluctuate through the year, but over time, I believe it follows inflation. Like I said, I'm not an economist or an investor like that, but just in my experience, everything is getting more expensive as the dollar devalues. So the dollar devalues, things cost more. So I definitely believe that those that are sitting on the fence saying, oh, I'm waiting for prices to drop, I don't see it happening the way you think. I only see prices dropping if they're already inflated, like New York, California, these massive priced homes, and they're ugly homes, right? Or basic homes, starter homes at 750,000. It's just brutal. I think markets like that will adjust, but markets that are not like that, in areas where there's influx of people coming and they're building commercial and there's a lot of talk about growth, I do not think home prices will slow down. God forbid we have no crazy war, a meteor strike, or something like that. But even we saw what happened in 2020. That was supposed to be the end of the world, and home prices basically doubled in some areas. So, yeah, I mean, this is a hard pill to swallow, but I don't think it's going to continue. And yeah, some houses are not going to be worth what you think, but it's not really. It depends on how much someone's going to pay.
However, these two houses are not worth $350,000, and that house is not worth $350,000. No way. No way. Not at all. Or in Cottonwood. Really? This house doesn't even have a roof. It just has a tarp on the roof. Like, oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Next video, we have another one of these prefabbed, modular, already built homes. Bring, deliver, and it's ready. This one's done by Amazon. I think it's less than $10,000. And I mean, seriously, like, you could throw one of these in the back, right there, level it out, throw it in, then you have a little office, outdoor office. I mean, if it lasts 20 years, I would say that's solid for the cost. And maybe there's ways to make them stronger. But yeah, let's take a look and let me know what you think.
Just arrived. Let it fall. Oh, freaking way. Yo, it's legit.
It's like a rectangle.
Looks kind of small. Yo. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's loud in here. It's pretty nice. What's the point of windows? Can't even see
What do the
outside.
windows do?
Oh, the bathroom.
There's a whole bathroom and a shower.
Wait, there's a shower?
And a toilet. This is kind of nice. It's just like kind of small.
What's up with all this?
Wait a second.
Is this like half built? Like
It folds.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's cool. That's what my laptop does.
Yo, the entire house has to fold out. Kind of like a puzzle.
I mean, yeah, I would say that's super solid considering the price point and how much it costs to add a ADU or a metal shop or shed. Basically, this is way cheaper. Like that, I think the only difference is the research, finding out how long these are going to be able to last, because that's where you're going to get your money back or not, right? This ADU is going to cost you, I don't know, 150 per square foot or more, right? And a metal building is going to cost you, I don't know, 20 by 25, 20 by 30, it's going to cost you like 16 to 18,000, or more. So, and that doesn't include if you're going to put an electrical or insulation. To a degree, I'm not a metal shop builder, but I've been looking into it because I'm trying to fill up some of this space in the back here too. Yeah, just to add a little more equity, add a little more value to the property, right? Basically.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole wall. I've never folded a house together.
Hey, let me in. You're gonna kick me out already? Come on, man. Wow, it's already so much bigger.
Bro, this thing is so easy to build. You literally just unfold it.
That's it?
That's it. That's wild. It didn't come with instructions, and we built it. Dude, 5-star review.
We just built a house from Amazon.
I was kind of worried that we were going to get scammed buying this thing because it had 0 reviews.
And it's finally done. Come inside so I can give you guys a tour. This place is...
All right, another one's going to be for the savvy people who are trying to figure out how these investors and larger people buy property and don't necessarily get screwed because the whole thing is winning on the buy. You don't really win on the sell because you don't know what's going to happen 8 to 10 months from now or 2 years from now. But you can win on the buy if you get ahead of the curve, right? Yeah, let's see what Vanilla Ice is doing, and let's see if that's something you can do.
My houses, some of them I've never even seen, and this is a true story.
You haven't seen some of the houses you own?
Never, and I buy them because I buy tax auctions. I buy tax liens. So I don't buy normal MLS or anything that you're going to see on Zillow. There's nothing on the computer that I'm going to be buying. I buy them below the appraised value, way below. And everybody would if they could, but they can't because they don't know my tactic. My tactic is to hire an attorney. And my attorney goes to the courthouse and he finds out for that day what tax liens in the whole county or anywhere I want to buy a home is, and he'll give them to me. And he says, you owe me my $5,000 retainer whether you buy a house or not. I don't care what.
That's simple. Of course, appraisal values can go down and depending on the appraiser you get. But basically, if you get a home, like let's say the home is listed for $300,000, you're under contract, you get that home for, I don't know, $270,000. You get your appraisal report. The appraisal is at $350,000. Well, that basically means you just got about $70,000 worth of equity just buying the home. So that's kind of how you win on the buy, and then from there you can add onto the property ADU, fix it up, make it a little prettier, and then of course location, right? I would only say that if you're gonna go this route, you should have capital, and well, if you go this route, you're gonna want to have capital. And you're going to want to have exit strategies built in. He's just going straight with an attorney. So that's already expensive just to get the attorney to write out the thing. But yeah, he's going for great opportunities. And that is something that
you do with this information. I woke up and got my coffee and went here and got it for you. Now you do it. And I go on there and I go, oh my God, look at these houses. I don't need to see them. I don't need to drive by them.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It'd be hard for me to do it. I want to see the home. I don't know an investor. I've not worked with an investor who doesn't want to see the home, but hey,
I don't need to even care. And I own so many houses that I've never seen because all I need to see is what is the appraised value of that house and what am I buying it for? Holy shit, I'm buying it for half of the appraised value. I just made money. You do real estate, you understand that. It's when you buy a house that's worth $1 million and you pay $500,000 for it. That's what I do. I make money on my houses before I even fix them up, when I buy them.
Yeah, in most cases, if it's listed, it most likely will be priced correctly because it's got it's got that professional behind it. But you're still seeing so many properties, so many of these areas where they are overpriced, and and they have no idea, right? So get out there. If you find yourself wanting to find one of these opportunities, just reach out to a real estate professional like myself, and ask some questions. You know what I mean? Try to figure out if they are savvy in that department. That way you're not wasting your time running around trying to figure out what the best deal is. Now, real estate agents, we cannot be like, hey, this is a great investment property, but we can guide you. So also things like recent sales, and try to give you an idea of what we expect, especially if we are an expert in the area that you're looking in. All right, lastly, we're going to end on this lady again. She has a great perspective. I really like her takes. Talking about how what happened in 2020, everybody knows what happened in 2020 has affected the real estate market and the economy.
I think COVID changed it completely. Everyone realizes now you don't have to leave your living room.
Yep.
You could do everything remote.
Work from home.
You work from home. Everybody wants to work from home. It saves
money. It saves time. It saves costs.
It does, but it hurts the city.
Yeah.
Vacant skyscrapers, office buildings, it could totally bring down a center city.
Yeah.
It could bring it down. It brings down the value of the buildings. People are asking for tax breaks, and they're not. If the tenants aren't paying, it could hurt the banks that holds the mortgage.
It's a ripple effect.
If it's vacant, yes, absolutely, it hurts the city. There's not people walking around Center City at all times of night. There's not people walking during the night. It hurts the. I think COVID changed it completely.
Yeah, and I would say that's spot on. You've seen all these larger cities where they have office buildings just straight vacant, where they're trying to renovate them. They're trying to turn them into apartment buildings, and realizing that's very different because obviously you need a bathroom and a shower in pretty much every room, where in an office building, that's not the case. So you plumb this whole entire building, and wire this whole entire building specifically for office use, and it's not being used as that. So yeah, some of these buildings and builders are getting hit hard. You're seeing buildings that were sold for or bought for like over 100 million go for 30 million, 40 million. I mean, pennies on the dollar in the commercial realm. So yeah, if you are a commercial investor, it really is the time to snipe on these commercial properties. You see a ton of vacant commercial property, and yeah, that is all due to what happened in 2020. I mean, everything was shut down. They said stay home. Now people live in a home where they can stay there, right? They don't just live in a home that's, oh, I'm going to go to work every single day. They want their work to kind of be at their home. Even me, myself, I'm doing this video at home. Of course, this isn't something you would do in an office, but the point is the landscape of how we live and how we work has changed, and we're really not going to see the effects for another 7 to 10 years. You know what I mean? When some of these buildings, they default, or the owner's just like, look, I cannot pay this for this building anymore. And I don't. Yeah, there's certain cities where there's a ton of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go about it, and how the economy and how real estate changes just throughout time. But that's really it for this video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching. Like I said, my name's Trevon. I do real estate in the DFW Metroplex, Dallas, that area, Frisco, Plano, all those areas. If you need help or have questions, shoot me a call, give me a text, and thank you. Leave me some comments for what you think. Is this the type of content you like, or do you want to stick with more of the tours? But yeah, y'all have a blessed week.